witchy babes, it is Marky, and welcome back to my channel. Get ready for...
Hi guys, it's Marky, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please hit that like and subscribe button before you go. In today's video, I am doing a tarot room tour. I asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted to see that. You all voted yes, so here we go. The first thing I'm showing you guys is my tarot deck slash journal rack, and this is where I keep all of my decks, which you can see here at the top. I have a lot of them, and it got to the point where I got so many that I had to get a second shelf. And then I have all of the companion books for all the decks that I have in here. Then the third shelf is all of my journals. These are all unused ones that I plan to use eventually. And then, as you see, I have my one of my mortar and pestles. And then in these bags back here, ruins, and then tarot dice. This bottom shelf is kind of a random assortment of stuff. I've got my 3-ring binder right here for tarot spreads and other information I've printed off offline. I got this artwork actually out of an art magazine, so I'm not 100% sure who it is by. If you know, please comment down below. And then there's like plain composition books just for extras, and this is scrapbooking paper, which I like to use as backgrounds for a lot of my free tarot readings I post on my Instagram. Woof. As you can see, I've got lots of them, and they're all double-sided, which is really cool. Then I have an astrology composition book that I haven't used yet either. I'm saving that one for something special and specific, not sure what yet. Then I have extra like tarot bags for all my decks and like ones to put my crystals in. This is one of my homemade borax crystal projects I did. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's super duper easy and cheap to do. And you can basically do it to anything that is waterproof. Now this box you guys might recognize from my witch swap unboxing video, the first one I did. This was from my pal, the Welsh Hedge Witch. Sorry about that. I've just got some random stuff in here. It's kind of turned into a little catch-all. I've got stamps and all kinds of stuff and labels. So that is my tarot rack. Now next up is my corner shelf, and on the bottom shelf I have one of my vintage dolls, Esmeralda. I found her for $10 at my local Goodwill, and she is one of my absolute favorites in my collection. She goes for roughly $2.50 online, but I do not want to get rid of her ever. I really, really like her, and I especially admire her very, very deep and bright green eyes. They are gorgeous. Next up, we have my oddities shelf, and right now I've got my family statue there just right now until I find somewhere else to put it. But for my oddities collection, I have a crocodile head, a rat skull, and a possum head that I actually found here in the town I live in. And then inside that is a bird's foot. I have this amazing possum paw pendant that I actually got from one of my friends, and she is on Instagram. She was just at the Portland Oddities Expo, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's got crystal quartz in the paw. I'll put her information in the description below so you guys can check her stuff out. Then I have a mummified, preserved, whatever you want to call it, crab. And this is a boar's lower jaw. And then I've got some coral in the back and a bird's nest that I again found here where I live in town. It had fallen out of a tree and was empty. And in it is a huge real ostrich egg. And this one is from my parents. And then I actually have another one that I'm bringing home that I forgot at their house that I got at the Goodwill. The next two top shelves are more of my dolls. This one you guys will recognize if you've watched my previous videos, Clarice. She is the first one I got at Camus Antiques Mall for only $5. And her outfit was $10 that I got in a different booth from the same antique mall. And right up next to Clary's is this cute little vintage, like, I think he's a duster technically, but I think he's just an adorable little doll, so I added him there too. And then up here we have one of my newest dolls. I haven't found a name or really like figured it out yet, but I absolutely love her. And to this day, like, I hadn't thought that any of my dolls were haunted or anything weird, like, about them at all. I just thought that they were really, really cool vintage dolls, and I really wanted them. But the one I just showed you that is nameless at the moment, she used to sit right here on this mirror shelf. And I moved her because I was gone for a couple days, and when I came home, instead of facing forward on the shelf, she was turned at an angle that she was facing my living room. So I thought, okay, maybe whatever spirit possesses it could want to view instead of being just looking at my ugly kitchen. So I moved her up there where she has a better view of my apartment and can kind of watch over everything. I don't feel anything negative or bad about her at all. I just think that she is really cool and needed a home, and I might dive into an investigator a little bit more later. I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing. If so, comment down below please, or like the video. Again, over in this corner I have another one of my dolls. I've got her. Again, I don't really have a name for her yet. I found her at my Goodwill outlet, and she is actually wearing the dress that Clarice came in originally, and I'll throw a photo right here so you guys can see what she looked like before her little makeover I gave her. Next to the doll are my books, and I have this awesome handmade sign that I got that says books on it, and below that is my entire stack, well, 2 stacks of my witchy books, or anything that I consider to be useful to me. And this one is mostly my fiction books right behind this doll that I will get to in a minute. And, like, I have some amazing stuff in this collection. I'm really proud of it. The Devil's Picture book, which is a very, very old vintage tarot book. Dictionary of the Occult, which, child, I have not read yet, but I've heard great things about it. These are 2 from a giveaway I won from Scarlett Ravenswood. I'll put her info in the description below as well. And then I've got all these other books that I have picked up that I absolutely love. Next to her, I have my other Mortar and Pestle, which is my first one I ever bought, and it's got the Triple Moon Goddess symbol on it. Then I have Florida Water, which I actually won in a giveaway from Miss Katie Page, the Wellness Witch, on Instagram. Again, I'm going to put everybody I'm mentioning their information in the description below. That way I don't forget anybody, and definitely go check them out. They've got amazing stuff. So underneath those is my entire candle collection. I have all my votive candles, used and unused, and then I've got a bunch of these smaller ones that burn faster. And the container they're in came from Seaside, Oregon, that my mom bought me. Not sure which shop. And then below all my candles, I have all of my herbs that I could need in jars. And there is a very wide variety here. This is actually beach sand from the trip I went. I did a day trip with my family last week. Super duper fun. Then I have my lemongrass that I grew, and I've got cinnamon, thyme, all kinds of stuff. And then down here there's bay leaves, mugwort, sage, and other stuffs. So this doll that I mentioned a second ago, I just got her last Monday with my family when I went on a little one-day beach trip. And she was only $2.50 from the thrift store in Seaside. It's the only one on the main strip. And she, like, didn't have a price tag on her or anything. And I was immediately drawn to her. I just absolutely love her facial features and her clothes and everything. And she is porcelain. But yeah, originally she had no price tag on her. So I took her up to the counter and asked the owners about it, and they only wanted $2.50 for her. So I am absolutely in love. And she is sitting on a little stool that I got from a Goodwill here back home. Now, one of my favorite aspects of my tarot room has to be my big tapestry. I got this in Seaside, Oregon. I know I mentioned it in my Haunted Beach shopping haul. I will put that in the description below as well. And this was $30, money well spent. It covers literally the entire wall and some, so it's perfect size for in here. Last but not least has to be my tarot table where I actually sit and do my readings. This is literally my favorite part of my room. It was only $15 at my local Goodwill. And the coolest part about this table is that if people come over and want a reading, it seats 4 because each one of these is a stool that pulls out. So I absolutely love that. And then on this table, I have a pumpkin fall leaf candle that I got from my witch swap pal in my last video. And I also have one of my pendulums right here. This is one that I got at Multnomah Falls here in Washington, and this was only $6. I love it to death. It's one of my favorites. And then next right here, as you can see, I have my crystal ball and the majority of my crystal collection. I have literally everything from amethyst, rose quartz, opal, goldstone. I mean, the list goes on. Labradorite's my favorite. And as you can see in the back here next to my crystal ball is a giant piece of black tourmaline for protection. And then right here I have my lithomancy set that I just got from my witch swap pal as well. And I've actually never done lithomancy before, so I'm very excited to try it. And in this little bottle behind the lithomancy set, I have, this is wood from a tree that got struck by a lightning in a friend of mine's house. Well, in her backyard, not her actual house. One of the other stones I want to point out is this little wishing stone that my mom found and gave to me. Wishing stones are stones that have a solid white line or multiple running through them. And the point of them is that if supposedly if you find one and make a wish on it, it'll come true. Or if you give it to somebody, all your wishes will come true, and then so will theirs. Next to my crystals and my crystal ball, I have this handmade pendulum that I made recently. Is smoky quartz and bloodstone, and it is on what is technically an ornament hanger or hook, like display, but I think it's perfect for pendulum readings if you're shaky, which I am, and you don't want to risk that you like your own natural movements to mess with it or screw with it. So I love using that during pendulum readings for myself or clients. And then the last couple of things that I have sitting here right now would be the book I am currently reading that I got again from Scarlet Ravenswood, sorry. And I absolutely love this book. It is crazy. The history facts is, so far I've only hit the history part / lesson 1, and it's an amazing book. If you're learning, have already learned, and just want to maybe see if there's anything you've missed, definitely recommend reading it and buying it. And then on top of that one, I had my spiritual journal. Some people like to call them Book of Shadows, Grimoire, whatever fits you or fancies you best. Mine, I like to just call my spiritual journal because I have so much stuff in it, and I've got this cute Halloween, well, technically Halloween sticker, but I just like it in general, that I stuck on here to make it not so plain. And as you can see, I have written in it so much lately, it's literally bulging and warping. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to finish filling the whole thing out. Well, now that you guys have gotten an up-close look at my tarot reading room, I hope you guys liked it. And please drop in the comments below if you'd like to see any other videos like this in the future. Maybe an update in a few months after I've added to or taken some things away from it. Let me know in the comments down below. Please hit that like and subscribe button before you leave, and hit the little bell so you're notified when my next videos are coming. Have a blessed night, everybody.